Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Ain binti Muhammad Razlan, metric number 1972042. So, today we would like to share to all of you about the manuscript Sayr Al-Salikin. First of all, we would like to say thank you to Dr. Nur Wahida binti Fauzi for giving us opportunity to discuss about this manuscript for this semester.
Catchword. There are 24 catchwords in our manuscript. Example of catchword. First, maka iaitu in verso 166. Second, dan in verso 168. Third, laki Allah in verso 170. Fourth, fima in verso 172. 5, dapat in verso 174.
Next is word analysis of Old Jawi and Modern Jawi. For the first word is mati. The difference that we can see between both is Modern Jawi has ya in the end of the word. Next word is bermula. Modern Jawi has alif in the end of the word. The next word is ulama. Modern Jawi has hamzah in the end of the word. Next word is hasil, where Modern Jawi has ya in the middle of the word. Next word is saksi, where qaf is changed to kaf. For the last word is rajin, where Modern Jawi has alif and ya in the middle of the word. Next is the total word that being analysed in this study.
Text analysis of Arabic word. First, hurur means ego. Second, muwafaqat means agreement. Third, mashghul means busy. Fourth, mukhtasar means summary. And fifth, ta'alluq means attached.
Analysis text. Verso 166 to recto 175. Characteristic of leader. Imam Ghazali said, if sensible person run away from it because he afraid to leading bad things in physically, but he get married like sifat adil. Inside, establish Islamic law and avoid from bad things so that he can be a leader or king. Physically strict, but inside he implementing Islamic law. Hadis Nabi Muhammad SAW said, one day from a fair king better than someone pray for 60 years. Next, we move to chapter 9, chapter of Kubra and Ujub. Kubra is proud of himself, such as firman Allah in the meaning, I will show to them who is takbur in the world, but actually they have nothing. In hadis Nabi Muhammad SAW, in hadis Qudsi, the meaning is Allah Ta'ala in Kabir and Azim, and who left a salam swab from it, I will throw them to neraka Jahannam. Next, meaning of takbur. Takbur is who have dignity of greatness and strength with perfect more than others. Other than that, the person who takbur is he itikad in himself have dignity of greatness or perfect. Haram takbur with the clothes to showing the dignity of greatness, such as hadis Nabi Muhammad SAW, meaning that nobody left Allah Ta'ala in rahmah to people who anchor his clothes while walking because of the deity of greatness. Next, we move to the act of takbir. First, who proud of himself. Second, who prioritizes himself from others. Look at the people who know insulting himself. Fourth, met to people who did not give anything to him. 5. Met to people who did not stand to him. 6. Met if other people choose another and say the rude word to people. 7. Teaching people, but he not willing to others. Lastly, he talk about problem, but don't want to hear advice from people. A part of takbir. First, takbir to Allah Ta'ala, such as Fir'aun and Namrud. Second, takbir to Rasulullah SAW, such as not follow Rasulullah SAW. Next, how to avoid from takbir with tawadu. Hadis Nabi Muhammad SAW, the meaning is afraid to Allah Ta'ala and tawadu, and believe Allah Ta'ala rich than others. Example of characteristic of Nabi Muhammad SAW. First, greeting and shake hand with all people. Second, zuhud. Third, good attitude with sahabat. After that, what Prophet Muhammad said, he not show it. He is tawadu, he is strict with Islamic law, he is loving and soft-hearted.
Next, text analysis, page 176V to 185R. In this text, it is said that Rasulullah never ate until his stomach was full, which means he never satiated his stomach. He was willing if there was no food until morning. He would fast and never complain if there was not enough food. This is because the previous prophet want rewards in the hereafter. If Allah give pleasure in this world, it is feared that in the hereafter there will be nothing. So he did not want fancy food, while the previous prophet did not have food. Imam al-Ghazali said two things for us to remove takbur or kabir or break the kabir. First, we need to remember the origin. Second, we need to push our heart away from being the reason kabir came. To cure is to know the cause of kabir. Line H. Knowing that his people were made by God from humble and despicable semen. Second, Jamal, which is beautiful or good looking, always finds himself because every member is unclean. Feels strong. A strong man feels that he is a strong beast. This is because he is insultingly arrogant due to his useless strength. Fourth, rich. Helping others is good, but arrogant as well as being a great person, this does not last for him and will soon disappear like its beauty. Fifth, arrogant with knowledge, it can be destructive and even more destructive. Let us not make ourselves more than scholars and show pride by perfecting a little knowledge. Sixth, arrogant with worship. No one is arrogant due to fighting in performing ibadah, but arrogant to people who are more alim than him. In this text also say about the wicked person inflicts his heart with outward vice. In his heart there is jealousy and riya or small evil. Allah will not accept outward worship, and every sin in the heart will take away his deeds. The person who is abid is always away from kabir by always being tawadu', no matter whether it is pious or arrogant or infallible. The tawadu is humility. The person who fears Allah and His punishment is more noble by acknowledging that he is more humble than all the creatures of Allah. If you look at a child, then say that the child is more noble and does not commit immorality. If you look at an older person, then say that the person did worship earlier than me. If you look at the alim, then say this person has been given knowledge by Allah which was not given to me.
Chapter 10. Ghurur or deceive. Disease means heart disease that befall most people in this world. This ghurur have been explained further by Imam al-Ghazali in his book Ihya Ulumuddin. There are four groups of ghurur. Firstly, group of scholars. Secondly, group of people who like worship. Third, group of those who claim themselves as Sufi. Fourth, group of people who want the property and people deceived with the world. Let's see the first group. The first group is scholars, which knowing the external Sharia knowledge, but not know about the internal Sharia knowledge. Like Imam Malik radhiyallahu anhu said, anyone who seeks the external knowledge of fiqh and does not seek internal knowledge of tasawwuf, then they become fasik. And this is also what Imam al-Ghazali rahimahullah ta'ala mean in his book. The example of this group is the scholar who are pious with the knowledge of Sharia and always practice it, then teach it to others, but he does not understand the knowledge of ma'rifah to Allah. Within reason, there is no such knowledge. The second group is group of people who like worship. Worship activities can also lead a person to be deceived by themselves until make them far away from Allah instead of making close. For example, people who are too busy to recite a Quran but does not think and understand all the meanings and explanation that they recite every day. The third group is those who are claim themselves as Sufi. For example, they profess to be a Sufi by wearing curtain clothes, styling in the style of Sufi scholars, recite zikr with dance and song that are full of lust. They also think that they have reached to Allah and think that they have been inspired and kashaf. The last group is people who have to property and deceive with the world. For example of this group is people who think that their wealth and money is able to save them and glorify them on this world. To have wealth means to have true greatness and pleasure and to forget to pay zakat, to be kind to the poor and do anything that they want. The last example is people who build a mosque, cares about orphans, help victims of natural disaster, but wants to be praised and mentioned for their kindness, so that people and praise and call him a philanthropy. That means dermawan.
Text analysis, page 196 until 205. At the beginning of the text was mentioned about the advantage knowledge of book Imam al-Ghazali according to the view of some Shaykh. First, by Maulana al-Arifin Billah Sayr Abd Muhammad rahimahullah, was said, the book of Imam al-Ghazali was gathered in it many useful knowledge because he is known as ta'amul, fair, and expert in talking on a religious issue. Second, by Maulana al-Arif al-Ayyad al-Sharif ibn Abdullah Muhammad ibn Ali ibn Alwi al-Hufi, was said, if one to escape from evil and deception, he should start seeking useful knowledge, and that knowledge can be found in kitab Imam al-Ghazali. Third, by Wali al-Kabir al-Arif Billah al-Idrus was said, if the Christian read this book, it is possible that he will convert to Islam. Fourth, by Wali al-Kabir Maulana Abdullah ibn Abi Sakran al-Idrus was said, someone will get guidance from Allah Ta'ala by reading the book. And fifth, by Imam an-Nawawi was said, the book of Ihya Ulumuddin, the condition was like the Quran. Next, the advantage of book by Maulana Sayr Abdullah al-Idrus was said, the knowledge in the book Imam al-Ghazali has covers the knowledge of Sharia, science of tariqat, and facts. Next, the content in the book of Imam al-Ghazali by Maulana Sayr Abdullah al-Idrus. First, the book of Ihya is gathered in it all the secrets of Sharia and tariqat. Second, the book of Bidayatul Hidayah is the accumulation of knowledge of taqwa. Third, the book of Manhaj al-Abidi was gathered in it part that remind Allah. And finally, the book of Khulasah al-Fiqh gathered in it knowledge that illuminate the heart. In the text of Manuscript, also once mentioned about the fourth group of people deceived, which is Ghurur by Imam al-Ghazali. Ghurur is the group of people who own property and deceived by the world. Among the characteristics of Ghurur, first, a person who has property and spends it to do a good deed but exists in himself filled of riya, ujub, sum'ah, and assumes that the word and money are able to save him and glorify him in the world. Second, someone who was care of orphan and help victim of disaster but want to be praised for his kindness. And third, a person who performs many outward acts of worship, such as prayer and fasting, but arise in his heart the fear of riya, ujub, and others.
Next is text analysis from page V206 until up to 115. In this page, we will learn about the importance of learning ilmu tasawwuf and their benefits. Also, in this page has so many kitab names and their writers. Al-Imam Maliki said that those who had knowledge about the ilmu zahir and ilmu batin will know the ilmu hakikat with truthfulness. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man amila bima ilm warasahullahu ilm ma lam ya'lam," meaning those who practice the ilmu syariat and ilmu tariqat will get to know the knowledge that most of other humans don't know. I want you all to take note that this translation is from the manuscript itself. Next is ilmu tasawwuf give benefits to three types of groups. For the first one is the beginning groups, those who still make maksiat in their heart and their mind but has repent and did not make zahir maksiat. Next is the intermediate group, those who had taubat from all kind of maksiat. Next is a pious group or Islamic scholarly group, those who had reached the true alignment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Next, among the first generation books in tasawwuf is kitab Ihya Ulumuddin and Bidayatul Hidayah. Among the books that author takes the knowledge from is Manhaj al-Abidin. The author is Imam al-Mujahid Hujjatul Islam Abu Hamid Muhammad bin Muhammad al-Ghazali. The short is al-Imam al-Ghazali. Next is Mukhtasar Ihya al-Muddin. The author also al-Imam al-Ghazali. Next is kitab al-Arba'in fi usul ad-din. The author also Imam al-Ghazali. Next is kitab Sayr Al-Asrar. The author is Shaykh Abd al-Jailani.